What are we doing? We're wasting teats.
Oh.
Wasting teats away. I will offer some context. I was going to say no. I'll offer some context. Things that come out of both of our mouths while we're waiting for this to go live is they are definitely some of the sentences of all time.
What it started off with taste in what?
I said
taste in wheat.
You said I think you ate or drank something, and you said tasty, and that reminded me of the Matrix when Mouse goes tasty wheat, and then you spoonerized it and said wasty teat. And then I was like, don't waste teats. We need those. Anyway, where's
God bless
Gilmer?
Teats. Anyway,
Where's Gilmer?
Yeah, where's Gilmer? We're coming in hot already.
Coming in hot with the wasted teats. Anyway, it's a Teat Tuesday here on the Experience Point. Just take my shirt off.
Just get little pasties on underneath.
Pasty wheat.
Oh my god.
We were just talking about how we were like both really tired and exhausted, and that we were like, oh, I don't either of us are super feeling the stream tonight, and I feel like we can just end there.
Don't waste them teats.
Oh god, don't waste the pasty.
Oh my god. Anyway, how are you, Andrew?
I am okay now.
Yes. Now that we're talking teats.
Gotta talk the teats. Give me the deets on the teats. He's gone.
Oh, anyway, we should really get on, because if anyone's coming into here for the first time and we're just opening with this, they're going to get the wrong impression of who we are,
or the right one. If you are just joining for the first time, Talk Tuesdays around these parts are when I hang out with usually this guy. I always do the wrong side. This handsome gentleman over here. And
this fella.
We kind of talk about literally everything. This whole thing is, this whole channel of mine is called The Experience Point. So we gather and we talk about, once a week, we talk about things that we have experienced over the past week. And that could literally be anything. It could be video games, it could be movies, it could be books, it could be teats, it could be experiences outside in the real world, like a restaurant that you went to. You know? Who knows?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, actually, you know what? This might... I don't know if it's going to translate, but I don't think I got to tell you this last time because I was... Yeah, I had... Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's Parallax Puddles. What's up, Parallax? So, crazy thing happened to my Blue Sky account on about almost 2 weeks ago, excuse me. So... I was recording a podcast. I want to say... You can still hear me, right? Sorry, my screens just went white, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, I can hear
you. Yeah. Okay. Like, something is weird with my computer right now. It's just like the video drivers are just like tweaking out. Anyway, almost 2 weeks ago, it'd be like Thursday or Friday 2 weeks ago, just about. I was recording a podcast and I looked at my Blue Sky account, and all of a sudden I have like 40 or 50 new followers.
Whoa.
Like in the span of like that. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks ago, a lot of stuff has changed since then, but about 2 weeks ago, news came out all on the same day that Polygon and Giant Bomb were getting shut down by their respective corporate owners.
Right.
And it's a big loss for games journalism. Huge loss.
Totally.
So a games journalist friend of mine, Aiden Mower, who's been on the podcast a bunch of times, super good dude. He's got his own podcast called Fun Factor, where they look at old gaming magazines and they review the reviews. They talk about the reviews. They kind of go... It's honestly really great because both him and his co-host Ty Shalter. Ty is a sports journalist. Like he works in sports media. But they're all gaming. Like he ties a big gaming fan as well. So it's interesting to see to hear their perspectives on journalism years ago, and it's a really good podcast. I highly recommend it. Not just because I'm friends with Aiden, but because it's providing a really unique lens to game history that I don't think I've seen other podcasts do.
Yeah,
and it's very much worth checking out. So
anyway,
he created a starter pack on Blue Sky. And do you know what a starter pack is, Andrew?
Not in this context, I don't think.
So on Blue Sky, when a lot of people were migrating over, like especially after, like there was like a really big migration at one point. I think it was after Musk's Nazi salute. Like it should have been sooner than that, to be fair. But like that was kind of like a lot of people's like, oh fuck, I just can't, like, it's not even like you're hiding it anymore. There's no plausible deniability.
Yeah.
But a whole bunch of people came over then, and what they have these things on Blue Sky called starter packs, where you can basically say like, hey, if you're interested in this, I'll create a starter pack for like all my favorite games journalists, and then you add all these accounts to it, and then if you post it and share it, people can literally click on the starter pack and just click follow all, and it follows all of those accounts.
Oh, cool.
So it's like and likewise, you can also do lists. Now, starter packs, like, you're limited based on size. Lists, I don't know if there's a limit, and I'm not quite sure why there's such a distinction. But the nice thing about lists is that if there's a series of accounts you want to block, you can use the list to block them all too.
Excellent.
Which is really nice. So I found like a MAGA one and just timeline cleansed. It's really nice.
That's awesome.
Don't see it. Don't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so starter packs are great. Aiden already has a pretty significant following on Blue Sky. Like he had, I want to say, before his starter pack his starter pack went viral. Before it went viral, I would say he had about like 7,000 followers, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot, especially for Blue Sky. Well, he created a starter pack. It was independent games media, and it went viral because he shared it the day of. And he included me on it because he's been on the podcast a whole bunch. He likes what I do. And I went from 700 followers to 2.3 thousand.
Holy shisa. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I got to get in on with somebody's starter pack then.
Well, I mean, it just depends I'm in a handful of starter packs. It's if you hit lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah.
Aiden is really good at social media in general. He's very active, so he was nice enough to include me on it. I got looped into it, and there's a lot of people following me now. So when I repost our stuff here, it's going out to a lot more people than it used to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't know if that's going to translate over to viewers, but still.
I'm sure it will, even if 10% of your new followers start listening to your content, that's a sizable chunk.
Yeah, so that was a really cool thing that happened. I was in the middle of interviewing a voice actor. I was right before I was interviewing a voice actor. And all of a sudden I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted. My Blue Sky account's just exploding and I don't understand why it's happening. So crazy stuff, dude.
That's great.
Crazy stuff.
Very cool.
So yeah, that was fun. That was a very humbling thing. So now I have 2.3 thousand followers and I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
so it was a really cool thing. I was really honored and very humbled by that. I thought that was just so nice of him to do that for me. So yeah, kind of a cool thing. So yeah, that's my start off. I got to get added to a starter pack on Blue Sky, and here we are.
Yeah, and there's some secret things in the works that you told me about off stream.
Mm-hmm.
Something very cool.
I got some cool stuff lined up for the pod. It's It's been a cool couple of days on the podcast front. Still dealing with. I actually came home from work early today. I ended up working the rest of my shift from home, but it's like pouring rain here, and as I've said before, our basement continues to flood.
Still.
So I was like, "Fuck! Oh yeah, we have to. We haven't got it a sub pump yet, so it's not like we haven't changed anything. So it's not like it's not like, oh man, we did all this stuff and it still didn't work. We haven't tried anything yet, so it's just it is what it is type of thing.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be an ongoing thing.
Yeah, so it is what it is. It's fine. But yeah, that's I think that's all I got for the intro. I have a couple other things to share, but I want to throw it over to you before I take up more of that's time.
All right. I have probably the least amount of things I may have ever had, as far as just straight out the gate. It's been a couple weeks since we talked, and last week you were doing a podcast, like you said, and so
Not a podcast, a live
or
stream.
a live stream. Yeah. I do want to hear about that with. I'm probably gonna get it wrong. Platonic.
Playodic games.
Yes.
They're actually streaming right now. They're doing another session.
Nice. Well, what are you doing here watching us? No. Please don't leave.
Hey, watching us.
So last week, once again, this is going to sound like a very familiar story to you, because I did it a couple of weeks ago when you were elsewhere. I was like, oh, I'll just sit down with Polisa and we'll just talk about something. We did the thing again where we were like, hey, this is probably going to be like maybe an hour. 4 hours later,
You're talking about Miyazaki, man.
Granted, I know. So you know. Not just Miyazaki. We did a deep dive on just one movie. Granted, it's my favorite movie. We talked about Princess Mononoke for 4 hours and other, Miyazaki films, Ghibli films in general, because it's their 40th anniversary this year. But we went deep, and our eyes were unclouded by hate and clouded with fatigue. It was great. So I guess that's just kind of a testament to how much her and I can talk in general. Like it just kept we just didn't run out of things to talk about. We ended up just going like Parallax is waiting for the Nausicaa stream. Don't tempt me, although please tempt me so that I will do it. That is an underrated and underappreciated Ghibli film. It's maybe my number 3 under Mononoke and Spirited Away. I think Nausicaa's next.
I'm trying to think what mine are. It's been a minute. I'd have to go with Castle in the Sky. Oof, Spirited Away. And I don't know. I don't know what my third favorite would be. I guess it would be Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay. It's so funny because I always say, like, I think Castle in the Sky might be my least favorite Miyazaki movie.
It's the most generic for sure.
But, I mean, I love the setting, though. It's one of my favorite settings. But it's also like saying, your least favorite of your albums from your favorite band, like you're still gonna like it, like it's still a great movie, and
exactly. Well, it's the same thing. Like my least favorite James Bond movie is still a Bond movie I don't actually hate, type of thing. Like I shouldn't say I don't know. I will say though, like Mononoke is not one of my favorites. I think it's too long.
Oh, interesting.
That's really my only criticism of it. Like it feels a little bit too drawn out, but I also the other thing is because it's like 2.5 hours long, right? It's a pretty long movie.
I don't know if it's quite 2.5, but probably over 2.
Let me look it up real quick.
What would you cut out?
Princess. Oh, I have no idea. I have to see it again to like really like. I just remember it feeling 2 hours and 13. Okay, so it's not 2.5.
Yeah,
2 hours and 13 minutes. It feels really slow paced, and I don't mind that because I like kind of like it allows you to kind of contemplate like what's happening, the gravity of like the world that you're kind of being thrust into.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I've watched it. I think maybe maybe I'll enjoy it more as an adult. But every time I've tried to watch it, I just get bored after a while.
Wow, that's so surprising.
Yeah, because and you know me, like if there's something that everyone loves and I don't like it, I have like a weird like hipster mentality with it.
Yeah.
You know, Dark Souls, insert whatever. I feel that way a little bit with this, but I can't bring myself to actually do like my Dark Souls rants against Princess Mononoke because it's too good of a movie. Like I
Yeah.
respect it too much. I don't respect Dark Souls enough, but I respect Princess Mononoke enough to
That's
not do that.
so funny. Two projects by a Japanese man named Miyazaki. Interesting
It's in the name, I guess.
connection there. Yeah. So we watched it again because not that you need a reason to watch it again, or I need a reason to watch it again, but they did a 4K kind of remaster and put it out in theaters again. And we usually do the Studio Ghibli Fest and see some, if not all, of the movies that they show in theaters, just because, like, my God, it can take, for me anyway, it took some Ghibli movies that I liked and turned them into ones that I loved, and it took ones that I loved and turns them into ones that I just want to worship, like at the altar of Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. Like seeing it on the big screen and like with oh my god, or like Arrietty. I watched that again recently. I think Arrietty is my favorite.
That's a good movie.
Of the non Miyazaki
Miyazaki
ones.
movies?
Yeah, because we watched it.
It's real. Oh no, it's a good non-Miyazaki Ghibli movie. The Cat Returns.
Oh wait, actually, that's my favorite. I think it's so
I
good.
love The Cat Returns.
That one's so good. I kind of forget that it's not Miyazaki. But we watched Arrietty here. Like I have really good surround sound speakers, and playing that like cranked up. Arrietty's amazing piece of media. Yeah. Like on its own, I do like it, and I think it's really strong. And I think if it was a Miyazaki, it would be the same thing I was saying, where it was like it's the worst Miyazaki, but it's still a great film. Seeing that movie in surround sound and hearing every little, like the sound design of that film is incredible. You actually feel like a tiny little person. And when they go out into, you hear all these little sounds when they're in the walls and climbing up stuff and doing the staple thing, and then they get out into the kitchen and it's like it's just vast. Like you feel it's quiet, but you almost feel the air moving in the kitchen, and it's like a cavern to them, and it's just incredible. Excuse me. But yeah, so we saw Mononoke in 4K in theaters, and I finally put a long running battle to rest in my head, which is, what is my number one favorite movie of all time? And after seeing it,
okay.
And it changed every time. Every time I see my number two, it becomes my number one. Every time I see the other one, it's... So my two favorite movies that were always fighting were Princess Mononoke and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And I think this time, and after talking about it for 4 hours straight, I think I definitively can say that Mononoke is my favorite movie of all time.
I would choose Mononoke over Scott Pilgrim as well.
Yeah. It's just so... I have never been so impacted by a film. I've told this story before, and I'll say it again until I die. I rented that on VHS from the library when I was like 13 years old. Maybe a little too young for that movie, but I think I was probably like 11 or 12. And
it's PG-13. You're fine.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for violent cartoons because I hadn't even watched Akira yet, I don't think. And that was another beat like, whoa, okay, cartoons.
I mean, that's R-rated, to be fair.
I know. But
that's got melting babies in it, all right?
Yeah, and
there's some wild shit in that movie.
And organs falling out of people's bodies. I rented the VHS tape of Princess Mononoke from the library when I was a kid. Watched it with my jaw on the floor, and immediately when the credits rolled, rewound it and watched it again. And I've never done that with any movie since, before or since, and that just holds a ton of weight in my mind. And like from the first couple of musical notes and that soundtrack, oh, Joe Hisaishi is a god.
You know, it's kind of wild. No, Joe Hisaishi. So I recently recorded an episode of the podcast on Parasite Eve, the game Parasite Eve. Fun fact. So I did some research for that episode. Parasite Eve, the game, is based off of a novel by a Japanese author, a novel of the same name. But the Parasite Eve, the game, is technically a sequel to the novel, which is weird, even though it's the same name.
That is weird.
There was a movie that they made based off the novel, a Japanese horror film, which was kind of poorly received in Japan, and then by the time the book and everything had come over here in North America, like we'd already seen stuff like The Ring and fucking like The Grudge and all these other like Japanese horror movies. I think is The Grudge Korean? I don't know.
I think The Grudge is
Yeah, because Ju-on is
Ju-on,
like the Ju-on is the like the prequel to it or whatever. Anyway, so want to guess who composed the soundtrack for the horror movie Parasite Eve?
Alan Silvestri.
That's right. No, Joe Hisaishi.
That is wild.
Isn't that wild?
That's
what
like
a weird small world.
That's like Miyazaki then going on to direct like a Junji Ito project.
Right.
Which those two, we talked about this on stream last week too. It's like those two, their personality and their work should be switched. Like Junji Ito just makes the most horrific, like just nightmare-inducing shit you've ever seen. But he's like the most bubbly, carefree guy in real life. And then Miyazaki makes like the most wholesome, like cottagecore, romanticize every little moment of your life and get all the joy you can out of everything. But then he's like this curmudgeonly old fart. This is an angry, chain-smoking man.
You know what? I wonder if Kiki's Delivery Service would go up there for me too. I really like that one because it's so wholesome.
I like that one more every time I watch it. I didn't love it the first time I watched it, and then now maybe getting older and going through similar things that she has, especially in a creative, in the lens of creativity, where you feel kind of stunted and stagnant, and you feel like you're not like, what am I doing? And you just have to. Mm-hmm. You just have to find inspiration elsewhere or believe in yourself. Like, God, we just watched Kung Fu Panda recently, and it's like the same message of just like, you already are the person that you want to be. You just have to like live up to yourself. Like, believe in yourself. You have it all along. You can do it. Yeah, I really like Kiki.
Leroy.
God, that video is like 20 years old now.
It's old. No, it's less than 20 because WoW just turned 20 last year.
Oof. Yeah. It's too close for my...
Put that in perspective.
I know. That's too close for my liking. I say currently going through a bunch of... still trying to beat all of the stories on Star Wars The Old Republic, which has been out since like 2010.
Isn't that an MMO?
It is. And I'm still playing.
Why? I didn't know you even played it.
Okay, here's the thing. This is my hall pass. This is my MMO hall pass. I hate MMOs. I hate MMOs with a burning passion, almost as much as I hate like RTSs. I know.
I can forgive the MMO comment. The RTS hurts my soul.
I know. I'm almost sorry. For your sake. I'll
take it.
The reason... So I have played... I got up to like level 35 on a character in Final Fantasy 14. Mostly just because like everyone I knew at the time was playing it. And that was fun just playing together. But I kind of fell off of that one because it's an MMO and I hate MMOs. But the cool thing about Star Wars The Old Republic, which is has a double XP week right now, if you want to jump in on that. Game from 2010. The cool thing about it is it's basically Knights of the Old Republic 3. And you can play the whole...
A game which I also did not like.
Really?
I'm not a BioWare fan. I don't like their style of game. It's just never been my cup of tea. So here's the thing. I could picture me liking it, but every time I try, it's just like the combat in their games has always. Now, to be fair, I've only really played Mass Effect, and I've tried Dragon Age, and I've tried a little bit of the Knights of the Old Republic too. I don't know, just something about their games just does not appeal to me, and I don't know what it is. It's not even like a hipsterish. I'm not going to go, my dark, like I'm not feeling very hipsterish tonight, so I'm not going to go on like my whole Dark Souls rants like I normally do.
Yeah.
But like, just something about them, man. I can't get into them.
I 100% agree. I don't like playing. It took me 3 times to get into Mass Effect because I loved everything about it except for playing it. And I kind of feel that way with Knights, or see, I'm already calling it Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, well, yeah, actually, Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic. It's not that I like playing them. I like the worlds, and I like the characters, and I like that it's Star Wars, and I like the role-playing aspect, and I love the like dialogue tree options. Like they're really clever. It's fully voiced, which is wild for an MMO. And each class gets its own full like 25-hour game that can all play differently. Oh, what's up, Llama?
Hey,
a certain definitely not. I was gonna say definitely not Keaton, a masked Keaton. This is a masked llama instead. FurryCon went well. Oh, that's fantastic, we were talking about that last week as well. Raised $150,000 for homeless LGBT youth. Oh my god, that's awesome!
It's really funny. It's really funny that you actually bring since Keaton pops in and talked about FurryCon. I won't say the voice actor I had on the podcast yet, because their episode will actually be coming out in a few weeks. But I was telling this ties in with FurryCon, I promise, or furry conventions, I should say. I had my guest, the voice actor. I was telling him, I was kind of lamenting to him, like, yeah, I don't go to many anime conventions anymore because I just feel like I outgrew the fandom. And he's like, well, if you want a good con to like kind of get that same feeling that you had when you first went to anime conventions, go to furry conventions. That's all I do now because and he actually recommended one in Pittsburgh called Anthrocon. So
we literally talked about it. Always ties back to furries. We are Legion. This is true. We talked about Anthrocon last week too, because I was saying how I always go back to the Pittsburgh area because that's where like my dad's side of the family's from around the 4th of July. And I always take the train into Pittsburgh, and then I get off the train and I still am surprised every time when all of a sudden like there's furries everywhere. And I'm like, why are you doing this in the dead of summer? Do this in the winter. Like, how do you not die of heat stroke? And I know Keaton was saying, some people have fans or some kind of cooling, like heat wicking. And I'm like, there's no way that's enough to keep, like, I can't believe that people don't die every single year from heat stroke from wearing those things. Anthrocon's the most famous. We caused a baseball team to lose once. I'm gonna have to hear that story.
What? I mean, if it's funny. The Pirates haven't been good for a while.
That's true. This is true.
Not that I don't know much about baseball. I just know the Pirates haven't been good for a while.
Yeah. I was even from Pittsburgh, and people were like, yeah, you don't have to cheer for them. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, just had to share that. Thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. So last thing maybe not last, but before I go back to finish my Star Wars stuff, Keaton, what is your persona? I'm dying to know. And do people have more than one? I'm so curious. I'm so fascinated.
I'm grateful I'm grateful for Keaton in general because he is such a great supporter of all of the content that, like Retro Hangover, me, you, and all that stuff. But also, like, I don't know about you, Andrew, just to be a little bit candid for myself, growing up in such a, like, we talk about all the time, growing up in a very conservative area. Yeah. And on top of that, when you get into like geek culture, you kind of still have those bits of like, of that, like, conservative that very closed-minded nature. So for a while I remember like thinking, like being uncomfortable about about furry culture, like just thinking it was strange or weird. And
Sure.
I hope that doesn't like put you off at all, Keaton, because like people like getting to know you. I also have a friend in real life that I've had on the podcast before. Shout out to Brenna. She was on the Okami episode back in 2020.
That tracks.
But like that type of stuff, like being able to speak, like get to know people and realize like, okay, it's not this weird perception that I had. The perception I had was weird, not the actual people.
Yeah.
So it's cool to meet people in a community that at one point in time I did not understand, and now I can understand a little bit more.
I love that. Let me. I'm going to quickly close the loop on Star Wars, and then I do want to come back to this. So
Yes.
So Star Wars Knights of, or, oh my god, the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic,
Yes.
BioWare games. I don't like playing them, but I like everything else about them, which is usually enough to keep me playing them. Star Wars: The Old Republic has 8 individual class storylines that are all basically their own game. So when you play it as a Jedi, you basically it's straight up Knights of the Old Republic, good versus evil. You can play as Sith. You can. I'm playing through my Sith one right now, and I'm just like force choking everybody. And you can do a bounty hunter, which is cool. And they're all just vastly different, fully voiced. They get a bit repetitive after a while once you see that like all the animations are just like the same kind of canned thing. But the fact that they're fully voiced is incredible. Set pieces are cool. And my favorite part of all of it, and this is the bow that I'm wrapping it up in, you don't have to play with anyone else. You can do it all by yourself. So I'm playing this game as if it were a single player game. So I don't have to be like, oh no, I'm queuing up for raids or doing my dailies or whatever. I'm like, I just want to find out if I'm going to save the universe and romance the cute Twi'lek girl, or like what. It's great. A lot of fun. Anyway, the whole furry thing is so fascinating to me. And I also want to say I wasn't laughing. I didn't do the laugh thing. I did the laugh thing at the baseball thing, Keaton, not at you saying what you were saying. Oh my god, wait, it's going. My phone. Many people have multiple personas. Different aspects of characters.
It's playing around with different aspect characters and personalities. Okay.
Poppy Keaton. Keaton from Majora's Mask. Oh my god.
Pop because of Pop Quiz.
I think I have to go now because I just realized that your name, Masked Keaton, is referencing the Keaton mask and not Michael Keaton in a mask, aka Batman. I joked about that.
You just got that?
No, I always am like, oh, he's Batman. Oh, ad break. Oh no.
I'm in one too.
I always thought like Masked Keaton. I was like, maybe I'm thinking like if somebody was like Masked Bale, Masked Kilmer, R.I.P.
What? Oh, Val Kilmer. I thought for some reason I thought you were doing a pun off of Gilmer. I'm like, what's going on with Gilmer?
Oh, he's dead.
Okay.
No, God. If I found that out after the fact, I'd be so sad. Let us know when you're back, Keaton. Or
the ad just ended for me, and he's back too. So yeah, he's back.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know because I can't see when that is, unfortunately. I was saying I just realized that your name is referencing the Keaton mask from Zelda and not Michael Keaton, like in a mask, aka Batman. Because every time you'd come into my streams, I would make Batman jokes, and he's probably like, "What the fuck does this have to do with anything?" And of course, because the Keaton mask is kind of like a kitsune.
Well, actually, you know what? I can't even make fun of you because the reason I know it was a Zelda thing because his Discord like picture is the Keaton, mask.
Oh, okay, that's a great mask.
So,
I would like to have one of those. That's so funny though. So yeah, we grew up in a time, and you grew up more conservative than me, but I think I fell into it really hard when I got like brainwashed by the school that I was sent to at I embrace the Batman references. Great. Good to know. Um, I went to I was forced into a Christian school from like 7th to 11th grade. And at the time, I got fully indoctrinated, fell in, got super homophobic. And with that, I know there's a lot of, like, I'm sure the Venn diagram with a lot of furries and LGBT is often a circle. But I kind of like attached them together, and I was the same thing too. Like, oh, whoa, what are these weirdos running around dressed up as animals for? And it's like, the more that I went to, the further I got away from like hardcore evangelical culture, and got into like an art school, and just it changed. I broadened my horizons in a lot of ways that we talk about, and one of those was like realizing like furries aren't hurting anybody. Like every furry that I've met is the most wholesome human being that I've ever met. And even like a lot of times they say stereotypes that exist for a reason. And there's some people that you know that are like, yeah, okay, this person definitely falls into a stereotype. I don't know anybody who is like the stereotype of a furry, like because people think it's creepy. People think they're like, everything is like, hypersexualized. And I'm sure there are people who are like that, just like there's
but just like there is with literally
anything.
every single community, regardless of if it's a pop culture fandom community or like your fucking, I mean, dude, there is not everyone's gonna be like take a sexual bent for a community. Whenever the CPAC, the Conservative Republican Convention goes place, Grindr goes crazy.
Oh my god, they break the servers of Grindr every single time it happens. Like they say this. I think one of the CEOs of Grindr was like, "This is our like Comic-Con."
And it's just so funny that and so like that's. In that part of that culture, there is still people that like, they're closeted and it's awful, but like, but there's always going to be a worst person, or I shouldn't, like, being sexual doesn't make you a bad person, but like, there's always going to be elements like that within every community. So, but I had the same viewpoint as you, where it was like, it was only portrayed to me, like it was only relayed to me as this is like someone who's into it for like a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Which
is fine if you are, but I think it's portrayed a lot as like predatory or like not assigning a morality to that if you do that in a kinky way, in consenting, safe, sane way. I just mean like people are like, oh my god, they're all pedophiles and they're all freaks and weirdos, and it's like, why? Yeah, like Keaton said, grab the worst person you can and apply that to everyone in the community. Like, you shouldn't do that in any way. But yeah, no, I think literally every furry I've ever met, I'm still friends with several of them, are just great, genuine people. I just think it's an easy target. And if you think about all the media that we grew up on, with like sexy animals, it's a miracle that we're not furries. We had Lola freaking Bunny, we had like Tony the Tiger, we had the ship captain from they're great. The ship captain from I want to say Titan AE because we just watched that, Treasure Planet. The list goes on. Much of Fursuiters is cosplaying, except cosplaying as Batman. You're cosplaying as Fudor, the giant dog you created yourself. I like that.
Okay, so it's almost like you're creating like you're creating a character yourself and then cosplaying as the character you created.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who like, especially in the neurodivergent community, or in the autistic community, there's so many people who are like, I can put this on and then I don't feel like I have to present anyway, because nobody knows your gender, nobody knows your race, nobody knows if you're disabled or not. You you can kind of just exude this character however you want to. Mini shooters would go to children's hospital to cheer up the kids. I love that. Oh, that's so wholesome. Like, and I've heard so like, to tie it. That's a great point. Oh, thanks. To tie it back to something that like I'm super into, and I've talked about this person before. Sonic Fox is which,
Yeah.
of course, their name is Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox is if you somehow don't know, a black, non-binary, queer, autistic furry. And they will absolutely wreck your shit in any fighting game.
They're the best. They're the best player in like almost any fighting game.
Just about. Pretty much every Western fighting game, and even some Japanese ones. And I love it because every toxic, douche bro on the internet is like getting their ass absolutely handed to them by somebody of like almost every minority possible. And it's just like, oh, so it's like the justice is so sweet. But the fact that they're in such a high, like a place of, what do you call that? Like high visibility. So I know so many people who were like, yeah, I was inspired to like start doing fursuiting or come out as gay or trans or, and it's like, I mean, we can talk about how the fighting game community in general was like built by brown people, like you go to any fighting game event and it's just like like I love black people getting hype over fighting games. The energy is so infectious, and there's nothing like it. And it's why fighting game commentators are almost always black. Like they are so. I actually watched like a mini documentary about this. How like it's one of the only competitive genres that has like the lowest barrier of entry. So like that's why like so many people who were in underprivileged areas could get into it. I just went into like a total diatribe, but dude seems pretty chill. He was in my game room this weekend and I didn't even know. That's so cool. Yes. Oh, so I think they are non-binary. So yeah,
I mean, their blue sky account just says I'm gay. That's it.
Yes, I met them.
That's all it says. So I don't know what their pronoun. I think they're non-binary as well. I'm not sure though. I'll look it up.
I met them at MagFest a couple years ago, and I just like it's weird. It's weird. We talked about one of the last times that you and I talked. We talked about like content.
Yeah, non-binary. Content. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
We just got to talking about like content creators and this age of the digital space that we're in, and it's so wild that like seeing this person who's just like another regular person. I'm not often so starstruck, and I've met people who were in freaking Star Wars for 40 years, and I was less starstruck by them than I was seeing Sonic Fox just walking through the halls of MagFest, holding the furry head and being like, "Oh my god!" And so I ran up and I was like, "Oh hey, I just really like a big fan of just everything you do," and I totally nerded out, and I could tell they were like, "Whoa." And I was like, sorry, I didn't think I was going to see you here. I just am a big fan. I really like everything you do and all the messaging that you have. And I love how you kick ass and everything. And they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, thanks. That means a lot. Like, they're very humble. Like, they were just like, oh, yeah, cool. Okay, that's so cool. Oh, no. Like, it was so wholesome. So, again, message to everyone. Stop hating furries.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about as close as you can get to being one. I've thought about like what I would do if I would start to create a character, and I was like, maybe I'll make like a fursona for the experience point because I want to come up with some kind of mascot. I must have talked about this. I
really thought you were going to say I'm going to make a fursona for the experience points. I'm like, what experience points? How are you leveling up?
Just the life, the life experience.
Just life.
No, I thought about doing like a little character for emotes for the experience point, and maybe doing like a shark of some kind because sharks are my favorite animal. Or maybe like a bird. Like I like birds a lot. Like the peregrine falcon is my favorite, probably because the Japanese name for it is Hayabusa.
I'd be an elephant.
That's a good one. That's one I feel like you don't see a lot. What? Maybe Keaton, you can answer this. Why is it the most common furry to be like? I mean, it's called furry because the animals are usually foxes and wolves and cats and dogs and stuff. Like, why don't you see sharks and lizards? And I know the scalies are a thing, but like elephants, I've never seen an elephant furry. May 7th to 10th next year.
There's got to be one.
To see you in Atlanta. I'm sure there are, but I go to cons all the time, and it's always like foxes and cats and...
Yeah, but have you been to a furry convention? You're going to see more variety there.
Oh, sure. But, I mean, that's like hyper specific. I'm just surprised that I don't see... And even like walking around the streets of Pittsburgh during Anthrocon, I don't think I've seen anything like an elephant or like a... I see bird ones every now and then. Featheries? Are they featheries? May 7th to 10th next year. I hope to see you in Atlanta. Well, if everything goes my way, I will be in Japan May 7th next year. So we'll see you in Tokyo. Our video game room takes up the entire bottom floor of the Hilton. Holy shit, that's cool. I hate to say it, but cool. It probably smells in there. That's a lot of trapped body heat. Like video game rooms can smell when people aren't trapping their body.
Talking about confunk, right?
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, I would like to go to one. Even as a non-furry, I would like to just go to a furry con. Just to experience it.
That's why that's what the voice actor was saying. I should just go, even if you're not a furry. And there's still parts of like me that is a little uncomfortable with the idea of it, not because of the furries, but just because, like everything we talked about, growing up with those stigmas and stuff like that, which almost means I probably should go just to like rid myself of the stigma. You know what I mean?
Oh, could be because we're exposed to fox stories, something subconscious. Yeah, I wonder what it is. Got to have those toe beans. Sure. Got to have the sharp teeth and the big ears.
Toe beans. Oh, I would do a corgi.
Oh my god, that would be great. A police, it would be a bunny.
I'll do the persona of my corgi.
Of your
Harvey
own dog.
Korgman.
That sounds.
Harvey Korgman.
That feels like a little, like, you may have to wait for him to die before you do that. Because doing it talking about? Now feels like I'm wearing your skin.
That would be even funnier. I'll let you know, Keaton. I'll let you know.
I'll provide the hotel room.
I don't know if I could take all that time away from the family, but I'll let you know.
Yeah. Oh, bring
the very least. Yeah, right. I'd probably like it a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
Set her name again.
You do it every time.
Not every time, every other time.
Do you want me to edit these out?
If you can. Obviously you can't do it during live, but if possible, like, I don't know. I know I've said her name before and it is what it is, but like I try not to put her name because especially what is it? This is I'm gonna bring this up. I don't want it to be the full topic because it's very heavy. But Courtney was telling me about how like she saw a documentary about like child influencers and how like they're manipulated by their parents and how like literally it turns it into like a cult where if you decide that you want to like leave, they will literally like unfollow you from social media and ostracize you, and like it ruins all of your like it would be a way to like completely ruin your credibility.
Yeah, or
and like it's crazy, and there is like so many more messed up things. So with that said, I try to keep my daughter off of social media as much as possible until she's old enough to consent to put herself on social media.
Yeah, I like that. And yeah, it'll be no problem to edit that out.
It's different when it's like just like if it was our Facebook and it's just we have it such a private and it's just people that we allow to see it. Yeah. But like if it's like a public profile, I don't want that up there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why if you look on my Instagram or like any pictures I post on Blue Sky, her back is to the camera. I don't show her face.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that. Yeah, I'll go in when I put it on YouTube. I can use the in YouTube editor to just go in and make a little snip. out of it, because I've done it before when I accidentally or when you accidentally said where I live, which is fine. I think I've said it before too, and I'm not like I'm not gonna go try to like expunge it from the internet, because like you can go to any of my socials and figure that out. But and I always say, like, you're gonna steal my identity, all you're gonna get is debt. So, and maybe some secondhand
or just give you more debt.
anxiety. Yeah, I don't know if I can. They won't let me take on anymore. I can't even open another credit card right now.
And real quick, you didn't take over. Thank you for the conversation, sir. I'd actually love to talk to you off mic about some of the other questions I have, but like, don't know if I have them all in my head right now.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you on mic, and I'm always Parallax does that too. He's like, "Oh, sorry for talking so much." I'm like, it's the point of this. Like, it gives us stuff to talk about.
Yeah, like we literally sit here every Tuesday and just bullshit for like however many hours.
Yeah.
So
speaking of,
if you don't, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're just about at an hour. If you're trying to stream, we can wrap up in.
I'm not going to stream tonight. I am exhausted. Okay. I'm ready for like relaxing soon. But I do want to quick talk about the stream I was on last week.
Yes.
And actually, sorry. Before I get into that, well, actually, you know what? This all kind of ties in. So, before I talk about the stream from last week, you had a question for me about Dropout and about Dropout TV.
Yeah.
The reason I bring that up now is it just got released tonight, but like last week they released a behind the scenes video of how they sold out Madison Square Garden. Dimension 20 sold out Madison Square Garden, playing tabletop D&D in Madison Square Garden. They sold out the garden. Like,
holy shit.
Crazy.
Are they bigger than Critical Role now?
I don't know. Maybe. They're fantastic. I love Dimension 20.
Yeah.
But geez, sorry. I feel like tinnitus in my ear right now. Anyway, so yeah, I just hear it. It'll go away soon enough. But in any case, so what did it? They did a behind the scenes thing, just talking about how it kind of came to be. It's a little mini doc about even like how Dimension 20 kind of came together.
Oh, cool.
And it was really, what was cool to see it is like, I mentioned before when I was gushing about Dropout TV a couple weeks ago about how like I very much feel like closer to God almost through them. Whoa. Even though they're not religious at all. I'm assuming all of them are atheists. I don't know, but like I the reason being is that they represent more to me what I grew up being taught Christ is like. Right, like the values that I learned that Christians are supposed to espouse, they better represent that than anything I see currently, right? And so when I was watching behind the scenes for Dimension 20 taking over Madison Square Garden, it was a very kind of like this weird parasocial religious experience where I'm like so happy for them, and I've never met any of them. It was like watching my best friends have like one of the coolest things ever happen to them, and I'm just so proud.
Wow.
Of them. And it's weird because I don't know any right. of them. I've never met them. I've never spoken to them. They've never even like interacted with me on the social media. Not even like a passing, like on an Instagram post or a story or like Blue Sky post or anything like that. So it's just weird. Like it's a weird parasocial feeling that I get from them. But it was just so cool to see because like they were all just like, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like we're never going to be able to like, the likelihood of this happening again is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But they did it. They sold out Madison Square Garden, shit. And there was an article written about Dropout a couple years ago, and the reason I brought this up now because the stream from last week was a D&D stream, which I'll get to that in a moment. Mm-hmm. But like just thinking about that reminded me of Dropout, which we can also use to talk. You can answer a question on Dropout. But like someone wrote an article about Dropout TV sometime last year, and I read it. And what was interesting about it is that the way they make their game shows work is that they don't like game shows that you see on TV, like Price is Right or Wheel of Fortune or what have you. it's focused on the rules. The rules of the game are what makes the situations interesting and kind of allows like people to be a little silly, or like what the games themselves have stakes, which keeps you invested in watching and who's going to win and what, whether it's Jeopardy or whatever the show may be, right?
Yeah.
What Dropout does is that the rules and the outcome of the game is immaterial. Like you don't like there's not really. It's kind of like Whose Line, where it's more
Everything's
fun.
made
You
up and the
watch
points
it.
don't matter.
But like that's the point of it. Like you watch Whose Line not because you want to see who wins. You want to
Yeah.
watch Whose Line to see what is the most, because of the personalities. Because you like Ryan, Colin, and Wayne, and whatever the fourth improviser they bring on for it, right? Game change, Dropout. Who does Game Changer, make some noise of this and that. That's the same thing. Like what makes Game Changer interesting is that they will tailor the games for the guests they bring on. For example, the DM of Dimension 20, Brendan Lee Mulligan, he is infamously always taught. He's very competitive. He's a hyper competitive person. Very, very kind, but he always wants to do his best. Like he's very like, I need to do my best at this. Like that's if he is given a task, he will try his hardest at it no matter what. He gives us 100%. And because of that, the host Sam always tries to fuck with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's like one episode of Game Changer where the rule of the game, because they don't tell the contestants, the comedians, what the rules of the game are. They play it and they have to figure out the rules as they go.
Yeah.
One of them was that the person who won each like round, who got how you would earn points, is you had to come in second place. And that was the whole thing. So Brendan, once Brendan finds that out, he's like, once again, Sam Reich finds a way to make trying your hardest the worst thing you can do, or something like that. Like finds a way to make trying your hardest the most inopportune thing, like, or something like that.
I saw when they were messing with them with the bird thing. I guess he loves birds.
Yes.
And they're
no, he doesn't even like birds all that much. He just is knowledgeable about it.
He's just smart.
And so he's very, very smart. He's crazy smart. And he talks about it in like other interviews where he's like, that is now like people will just send him on social media like bird memes and stuff like that ever since that.
That's so funny. It's so wild though.
So,
like, kind of again talking about the digital creator space, and you spend so much time absorbing the content of these creators. Like, yeah, no wonder you felt like proud of them because you've spent so much time with them. In some
the
kind
crazy
of way.
thing is, I really haven't, more than any other TV show, but like, it's just that for some reason I think it's because they're creating such a inclusive, wholesome space in a very genuine way.
Yeah,
it's very much like this is like they care about their friends. They care about their like every Dimension 20 episode. See you, Keaton. Have a good rest of your night. Glad the convention went well. But like every episode just feels like a very like they care about their cast and crew. It's not just the talent. It's like they do behind the scenes for almost all their shows. So you get like it's almost like DVD extras that they release.
Yeah.
Which you never see on other streamers. So it's I love this platform.
Yeah, and it's so accessible. I think that's probably also why, and it's also like it's just a bunch of people sitting around a table playing a game and having a conversation, like, and it means so like they mean so much to you, like they evoke such emotional responses, like when they're telling their stories and playing D&D or just dicking around and doing an improv,
Which is funny because like I've only really started subscribing to Dropout this year, since April. It's been a month since I've subscribed to them, and I've already like enjoyed their stuff beforehand. But like, I think it's also because a lot of their improvisers are also on Comedy Bang Bang. I've heard their improvisers on Comedy Bang Bang, and some Comedy Bang Bang improvisers have appeared over on Dropout. And because of that, it's just like they the crossover between something that has meant so much, that that podcast has meant a lot to me
Yeah.
over the years, and so being able to see so many different crossovers is just, sorry, excuse me, is just crossovers with something that was like got me through a large portion, like over the last decade. Comedy Bang Bang has been with me, right?
Yeah.
And now it's connected to this, where now it's like a different form of media, but like you get the same familial vibes, but in a different way. It's great. I love what they do.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I wanted to see if you have listened to or heard of. I don't know if it's an official Dropout thing, but I know it is Brendan and I think Brendan and Lou. Brendan's DMing. Lou is on there, and I forget the other two, but it's the Worlds Beyond Number.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yes, I've not listened to it. Erika Ishii is also on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I think it's like a D&D game, but they don't record it like it's a D&D conversation, from my understanding. It's almost like like they take the events of a D&D game and then they dramatize them for like an audio drama. I don't know if that's what it is.
Oh, okay. So that's like the 20-sided stories, which I've talked about before. I love them. And it is them playing, but they add so much. They cut out all the fluff, and they add so much. Like, they add music and sound effects and voice effects. Like, if they're in a cave, it'll be reverberating and things like that. And, they'll add like explosion sound effects and things like that. They've done like a Pokemon one. They've done a Halo one. They've done the Pokemon one is easily the best one. I highly recommend people go listen to that. And they're short. They're really short. So the reason I ask is because I came across a TikTok, and this guy was like crying basically, and was like, I just watched the last episode of it's something like the Wizard, the Witch, and the
Yeah, I literally am just looking it up right now. Where are you at?
The Wild and the Witch. I don't remember.
It's hold on, I can tell you in just a moment. The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One.
Yeah. So this video, I wanted to see if you had seen it, because I saw this video and I saved it, and I was like, I have to watch. And they're all on YouTube. I saved the playlist to go and watch. This person was like, I think that this specific story that they're telling with the Worlds Beyond Number, is the greatest piece of fiction ever written. And I was like, that is a bold claim. A very bold claim. So I wanted to see if you, or if any of the viewers in chat had seen it and could
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I want to check out the first episode. The only thing is they're so long.
They're like, what, 2 hours a piece or whatever?
Probably. I don't quite remember, but anything D&D is probably going to be long. Yeah, maybe if my schedule may be changing soon. I told you some stuff off mic that may happen. I don't want to say anything until it's for sure. But I may be finding myself with some more free time soon. So, yeah. And, maybe a job where I can listen to podcasts at work again. Definitely can't do that now at the cancer center. I'd be like, oh, hang on. Oh, you're dying? Well, this character is dying because he just rolled a 1. So can you just wait for 1 second, please?
That might be a little distasteful.
I'd be out of there so fast. Yeah, so I heard about it and wanted to see if anyone could back this very bold claim up of it being the greatest piece of fiction ever written.
I am actually reading a new piece of fiction right now for the podcast, though. It's not the book I told you about off mic, but I got a review copy of it's a novel. It's like a sci-fi novel, but it's dealing with like AI and stuff like that, and it's like a speculative fiction type of thing. Oh. And the reason I'm doing it for the show is the author of it. His name is Carl Hornell. He's like from Sweden. Or Hornell, I don't know how it's got the umlauts over the O.
Yeah.
And he is like a game designer too. Like he programmed for like the Commodore 64 and shit like that. And so he's very much into how like I'm going to be talking about like how his experiences as a game designer and developer in the 80s as like contribute. Like he's done a whole bunch of stuff. Like Carl Hornell is like I don't know, just like really interesting. So like I got reached out to by a publishing company. Um, yeah, this dude, he's a fucking like Renaissance man. He is a programmer and a cartoonist based in Sweden, and now he's also a freelance video game developer.
Dang, doing it all.
And he was a prominent member of Sweden's nascent game development industry, according to Wikipedia.
Oh.
Yeah, made a whole bunch of Commodore 64 games. And I think the reason I even got contacted is because I interviewed a dude last year. Oh, why can't I remember his name? But it was about the Commodore 64. It's Too Much Fun was the name of his book. I feel bad that I can't remember it for the life of me now. Jesper Jewell, that's what it is. I interviewed a guy named Jesper Jewell about the Commodore 64 because he wrote a book about like the technical aspects of it. And yeah, just lots of. But I've been getting a lot of offers to review books on the podcast.
I was
It's been
gonna
kind
say,
of cool.
have you read Roadside Picnic yet?
Nope, haven't read it yet.
Nice. Well,
I just have not had the time to, and I'm making more time for this right now. So I will eventually read Roadside Picnic. And to be fair, like that one has less of a connection with video games than this does. Like this is like, yes, it's an inspiration for the Stalker games, but like
yeah.
I don't know, like you don't send a review copy of a book for a book that has a minor connection to a video game, you know?
I would say it's a bit more than minor, but I see what you're saying. It's not directly involved.
It is. I'm still going to do it because I owe them that, but I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a good book. I just have not had time to read it just yet. I've been so busy with, especially with the house.
Oh my God,
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. You've like froze for a second, and then your face was making a very weird face.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see. I can see it on the stream now. Like it's just freaking out. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, God, time. I thought for some reason I thought you were going to say when we were talking about the wild and what is it, the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. I thought you were going to say, "Oh, I'll watch it and then report back," which reminded me last time we spoke, you were like, "I was going to watch something or play something and then report back to you," and I couldn't remember what it was, and you couldn't remember what it was, and I remember now. Just now, it's
what was it?
You're going to watch Top Gun.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Damn, didn't watch.
Yeah. Well, I assume so because you forgot about it. We both forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing I have to share though before, because then I think I'm ready to wrap up. I'm starting to fade a bit. I was over on Playodic Games last week, for their campaign, and it was awesome. Had a great time. I played a character. What did I? It was Reginald P. Farthingbottom. It was my character's name, but I said Farthingbottom, and my friend Mick, who invited me on, misheard me and did Fotheringbottom, which I think is even funnier.
I thought you were going to say Farting
Reginald
Bottom.
P. Fotheringbottom. Fotheringbottoms.
Dang.
So anyway, I was the owner of an arcade, and I can't even do the voice anymore. It was kind of like an old man voice, like this. Hell, thank you so much. Oh, so kind of you. That's kind of like what I was going for with it. And I was the arcade owner, and I had this sword behind the prize counter that they were trying to get after, and like this magic sword or whatever. But my arcade was being attacked by goblins or gremlins, and there was like 50 gremlins, and I needed help getting rid of them. So in return for them helping me, I would give them a sword.
Nice.
So before I sent them off, I made some character choices behind the scenes for him. So he's just a sweet old man, you know. He's just really trying to find his way in the world, even though he's like 80.
Yeah.
And he's religious. But his Lord and Savior is Donkey Kong.
Okay.
So I was like, Now, before we go and we start, yeah, you do your thing. Do you mind if we all circle up and have a quick prayer about this before you go?
Oh
And
my god.
they're like, because I already told them, like, praise be to DK type of thing. Like, my Lord and Savior Donkey Kong handed this sword to me to give to whoever was worthy type of thing. And they just started laughing. And so I have a whole prayer where it would go, Our primate who art on Kong Isle, hallowed be your barrel. Thy island come, thy will be done in the arcade as it is on Kong Isle. Give us this day our daily bananas, and forgive us our screen peeks as we forgive those who screen peek against us. And lead us not into and lead us not into Kong temptation, and deliver us from Jumpman. For thine is the Kong Isle, the barrel blast, and the golden banana, now and forever. Amen.
Wow. I can I join this church?
I know, right?
That's wild. Kong temptation. I think you're talking about Candy Kong.
The banana of DK compels you.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
banana of DK compels you.
You go up for communion and they just crack open a coconut.
It's just and you like Simba everyone who walks by with a coconut water. Donkey, ooh banana,
Banana.
but
I think last night when I was playing Ninja Gaiden, Parallax came in and said something about somehow Donkey Kong came up and I said, "Does your coconut gun fire in spurts?" Actually, that's a personal question. I don't know. I was like, actually,
That's
if it
so
does, you
good.
may need to see a doctor.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, depending
I
on
also
the
I
context.
didn't get to it, but I didn't get to it, but I also thought it'd be funny if like Frogger was Moses crossing the Red Sea,
Oh my
right? Like he
God.
crosses, and the seven plagues are like the things he has to dodge to get across the road.
The seven plagues. I will unleash a plague of semi trucks upon Egypt.
On the firstborn of this arcade.
Oh my god, that's great.
I got really into like what would be like the video game equivalent of all these like Christian things.
Oh my
And
god.
I didn't go too far. I didn't get much farther than that because I'm like, I don't know how much I need to prepare if they're going to be fighting most of the time. I did make it so my character was like four levels above the main character, but I just, I'm an old man. I'm not going to fight. And then there was like one guy that tries to attack me, and I have like a +10 to my rolls and
Oh
shit,
my
where
God.
it's just like I just like fucking wrecks him. It was a lot of fun. We had a very good time. Mick is an awesome person. I can't thank him enough for having me on for a little bit. Everyone seemed to enjoy the shenanigans, so
Nice.
I had a good time. I'm glad I got to do it, and I'm grateful that they had me on. It was a very fun time. Go check out Playotic Games over on Twitch. They
Hell
stream
yeah.
every Tuesday, and they're doing they honestly their production value too for their intro. Like they have like someone can do like someone in their like group does like 3D animation. Mick is a voice actor. So like they like the production of like the video itself is like really really good,
Nice.
like their intro video before each D&D session. So yeah,
That's
it was a
cool.
good time.
I need to play more tabletop games. I'm playing one right now, but the time between each session is getting longer and longer because our schedules are getting more and more ridiculous. Two of them, people are in undergrad school, and we're also going from, most of us are on the East Coast, but then one of us is in freaking California, so it's just been tough to schedule. But I've been itching to do some improv again in a D&D setting.
It's worth doing, man. It's great.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway, I'm ready to wrap this up, man. I'm fading.
yeah, me too. And I've remembered that this week I have to get up at 5:30 for work, so
That would suck. That would definitely suck.
It
that
does.
suck. I should say.
Yep, and I forgot about that last night when I ended my stream. Who knows what time?
Like
o'clock.
11 something.
Yeah, and that was early for me. Right, because you came in at the very end, and I was like, yeah, I gotta wrap up, and I was like, oh my god, I have to get up at 5. I was like, I have to get up in like 6 hours, which isn't the worst, but yeah. All right, well, thank you for spending time. Thanks for everyone who came and chatted. We gotta have Keaton on aka Llama, on to do a furry deep dive one of these times, because it's, as a subculture, it's so cool. And give them a little more love. But yeah, thanks for spending some time with me. Thanks, guys. Thanks, gals. Thanks, non-binary pals. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Go to therapy. Watch or play.
Dropout.
Yeah, watch Dropout, and I'll tease this one for next time. I'm sure, I think you saw my post. We can talk about it in depth later or next week. I started Chrono Trigger.
Yes, I forgot about that. You finally started it.
And on that note, goodbye. I have many thoughts. I know. I'll leave you with a little teaser. I'll just tickle you a little bit. I'll just tickle your teats to bring it all back to the teats from the very beginning. And that's what we call a full circle in this business, baby. I'm just going to end it. Goodbye.
Yeah.